When we went to the Philippines, and because of my previous training, trying to grow cows better and regarding the animal protein so highly, we were led to believe that if you're going to actually feed kids in the third world, one of the most important things is to make sure they got enough protein. And what they generally meant by that was making sure they got enough animal-based protein. Okay? So that's what I did when I first got involved in the Philippine study. But then I noted through sort of happenstance and, as it were, an observation, namely that higher protein intakes, quite frankly, were associated with higher rates of liver cancer in children. We had another project going trying to figure out what really caused liver cancer, by the way. Quite frankly, were associated with higher rates of liver cancer in children. We had another project going trying to figure out what really caused liver cancer, by the way. And we thought it was related to a so-called mycotoxin or a mold toxin called aflatoxin, and that was the theory of the day. And in any case, what really turned out to be the case, and this was exactly the opposite what, in fact, I had been taught, the people who were getting liver cancer were the ones consuming, like us, the highest intake of animal protein, or animal-based diets, if you will. I didn't think too much in terms of protein per se, but eating like Westerners. It raised the question, the great American diet causing cancer? Really strange and pretty provocative. Where basically animals fed either normal levels of protein, 20%, that's the normal level, or the lower level, 5%. And keep in mind, most of my remarks are going to concern this range of 5% to 20%. So animals fed 20% as opposed to animals given 5%. The ones given 20%, the normal level, they all, 100% got the liver tumors. They previously, both sets of animals had been exposed to the carcinogen, but they all got the tumors. The animals that got the much lower level did not. Really quite strange, but very significant. This then led to a long series of studies that was funded by the National Institutes of Health, by NIH, published in a number of different journals, also funded to some extent by the American Cancer Society and other places. I point this out because at this time, this work really was handsomely funded, quite frankly, by funding from our public till and from professional agencies, and did, of course, get published extensively. And you might wonder, how did that happen if I'm coming on this idea of protein? Well, in those days when we were doing this, I was focused on trying to understand what caused cancer. So the question that we had was, did liver tumors really grow faster when rats are fed normal compared to low protein diets? That was the question, because here the Indian workers have found this. And secondly, what we like to do in research, we like to say, oh, let's look and find the mechanism, as if there is the mechanism. And so, that's the way research today is done, in fact. We have to go in there and probe all these little details. So there's two main questions, and now I just want to summarize for you just 2 slides summarizing these extensive numbers of studies, just to illustrate a point. What we basically found was that we could turn on and turn off tumor growth simply by changing the level of protein intake within that 5 to 20% range. It's really quite remarkable, and I could show you many different ways of looking at that question that we pursued and got that result. It was very exciting in a sense, in some ways. To see something just like protein within that normal range that we actually consume ourselves, just turn on and turn off tumor growth. I could get into some of the details there on that particular slide, but I won't. I think you can see what I'm talking about. Over time, incidentally, in this case, it's early tumor formation, early cancer.